Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy SalvationsElite. We are back with another video, guys, and today we're talking about how to improve as a team, because I've had a lot of messages lately about just advice on teamwork and building a team and how to get better as a squad. I thought I should just make a video about this to just help everybody. So I'm hoping that we can go over a lot of what it takes to be a great team today, and then once we understand what it takes to be a great team, we can learn how to get better as a squad. So basically, that's what we're doing today. A quick schedule before we get into it. Basically, this week I'll be doing a CWL Anaheim like predictions type or preview type video, and then either another gameplay tips or news video before I'm leaving on Thursday for CWL Anaheim, because as many of you guys know, I work for MLG as a ref for events and whatever. So anyway, let's get right into the video and talk about what it takes to get better as a team. So obviously, for you guys watching, you guys are going to be on a variety of skill levels. So some of you guys are going to be more like amateur teams who are just starting out. You know, it just depends on where you guys are at. So hopefully these tips can apply to all of you guys, or at least to most of you guys, and it makes the most sense overall. So basically, let's just go over the basics of like the 4 aspects of teams. So basically, the 4 aspects of a team is dedication, communication, positioning, and individual skill. So the combination of those 4 things, when you're great in those 4 categories, that's when you're going to be great as a team. And that's basically how we're going to kind of break down this video, is inside of those 4 categories. So obviously, when it comes to dedication, it's important that you're committed to getting on every day, and everyone's putting in the time individually, which, you know, is collectively as a team, to improve and really get that practice and that needs to be done. So basically, the question is like, how do you address this as a team right at the beginning? So I think it's important that right when your roster is forming, or when you're making the official decision, to really start grinding and trying to get better, as you really set some clear guidelines or expectations before you really start about what work is expected, how much time you're expecting to put in, like what's the level of understanding. Like, just basically have a baseline level of understanding of what's expected from everybody on the squad, which I think down the road that'll really help keep the peace and allow people to keep each other in check moving forward. So obviously, communication is extremely important, and communication is not only in game but out of game as well. When you're in between games, or even in the dead time when you guys aren't playing, the communication is extremely important. So first of all, of course, you need to have a clear understanding of callouts, and that's like crystal clear understanding of callouts. When you say something, everybody has to understand what you're talking about and where you're talking about. And everybody basically at all times can always work on their communication, because it basically can always improve. So obviously in game, you're communicating not after you get shot, but while you're getting shot. You're communicating all things, amount of health, direction, things like that, positioning, anything along those lines. Communication is extremely important. S&D obviously is extremely important as well. Between rounds, you're talking about strats you're going to use, positioning, setups for that round. You're talking about on defense, you're talking about how you're going to set up on bombs, things like that, or like what strats you're going to use or how you're going to normally set up. Or you're talking about the tendencies of the other team and what they're doing and how you can react to what they're doing. Any type of communication like that is extremely important, and really you need to have that type of conversation between every single round. A lot of teams, as they kind of get comfortable with each other, can get lazy in these categories where they might not talk as much, or, you know, maybe they've been playing for 3 hours and now you're playing the search and destroy for the 8th or 9th time tonight, and you're just like, man, I just don't care that much. But that's when you really need to step up that game, kick in that focus, and really focus up as a squad to continue to improve. Obviously, it helps to play more, but if you're not playing to actually improve, and you're not playing as a squad, and you're not playing with the communication how you would normally play in a tournament or in a really competitive setting, then you're not going to be improving nearly as much as you would be anyway. So it's important to stay focused as a team while you're on. Similarly, after games, I mean, this might be the most important thing of all, is you have to have the patience and like the humility and the maturity to be able to break down what went right, what went wrong in those games, and what you can do better next time, or how you approach, you know, those situations next time. And obviously, this is where the egos can start kicking in. And this is the biggest problem, I think, in the competitive community right now, is guys just aren't willing to admit they were wrong, or maybe you're falsely accusing somebody else, or you're blaming somebody else for your problems. And you really have to be self-aware of that for yourself, for others, and be willing to address those issues right away. And once again, right from the beginning, it's important to have a clear understanding of what's expected from you guys, communication wise at least, right from the start. So you guys should have a clear understanding, go through, all right, well, this is what's expected before rounds, between games, after games, before we get on, after we're off, you know, like whatever it is. That communication needs to be established before you guys even start, because that'll help avoid so many issues down the road where, you know, one guy is expecting this high level of communication, another guy is okay with having a level of communication way lower. And that's kind of been the biggest problem, I think, for a lot of teams I've talked to, is that level of communication. The expectations of communication are so different between teams or teammates or coaches and players that they can have a lot of problems. So again, addressing this as a team, before every game you have to communicate with each other like what you're trying to improve on in this game or in this series or whatever it is. So it's like in S&D, you're trying new strats, new positionings, better communication, new loadouts, whatever it is. You guys are trying that in Search and Destroy, different bomb plants, whatever it is. That's what you have to go into the that map or that game or that series and be like, all right, today this is what we're trying to do. And like similarly in hardpoint, you're going in saying, all right, we're going to focus today on how we trade, how we're baiting and trading, how we're positioning, how we're rotating, how we're anchoring, how we're set up on these hills, how we attack and break hills together. You know, you have to go into each game and say, okay, today we're working on this, or tonight we're working on this, or this game we're working on this map we're working on this. You know, that communication can be extremely beneficial as well, and that can accelerate the learning process as a squad. So I mean, we're just kind of talking about it, but the next big key again is positioning. And as a squad, you have to be very self-aware of how you guys are positioned on the map, whether that's hardpoint, whether that's search and destroy, whether that's control, how you rotate, how you anchor. And that's just such a massive aspect of the team as a whole and the success that you guys can have. Obviously, communication is an extremely big part of that. And when it comes to positioning, it's important as a team that you probably, for search and destroy especially, to go into custom games and go through routes you guys are going to run, how you guys are going to play. You can even have a playbook. In the past, I know we've had playbooks, and I know a lot of teams do have playbooks for search and destroy, where we'll run this certain play here, this certain play here, this type of defense here, this type of defense here. We're going to send 3 to A, 1 to B. We're going to hit 5 mid, whatever it is. And those types of strats have to be gone through in custom matches to make sure you iron out where you're going to pre-nade, where you're going to pre-smoke. Not in this game, but where you're going to smoke in other games, or how you're going to hit that concussion off the rip, or whatever it is. And that's how you're going to use those. It's important that you're doing that in custom games to make sure you have a good understanding of that. And even with hardpoint, you can even do a pretty good job of, if you guys are having problems with positioning on hills or defending hills or breaking hills, you can still have a good idea and work through that as a team, work through situations at least in custom games, which can be extremely important. And I know that's helped me and my buddies and my squads in the past, and I'm sure that'll help you guys as well if you guys haven't done that already. The last aspect, of course, is individual skill. So this is a little bit tougher to just to talk about how to benefit or how to improve in just one broad video, obviously, because there's thousands of videos on YouTube about how to improve individually. But obviously the aspects of individual skill is gun skill, decision making, instincts, and then your personal communication, your personal dedication, and your personal positioning on the map. So like, there's so many aspects of individual, you know, skill as a whole, and obviously each player has to be individually skilled. Even if you're a well-oiled machine as a team, if you're not individually skilled necessarily, it's not going to work. So obviously I have lots of videos on the channel if you want to go check out how to get better as an individual, but that is obviously a massive aspect of being good as a team, is how good you are as individuals. So I mean, obviously there's going to be so many disputes and issues you guys are going to have as a team, but it's so important to just drop the egos at the door, man, and be okay with losing, because at the end of the day, you have to go into each game trying to improve, not trying to win. Winning can be an indication of improvement, but it's not the end all be all. And you can lose because the other team was just really, really good. You can lose because you played really bad. You can lose because it was fluky. Like literally there's so many reasons why you can lose or win or whatever, that should not be the goal of the night or the game or the map or the whatever it is, the series. The goal of the night needs to be to improve, and over time you're going to see improvements if you go into each night with a dead set list of what you need to work on. And like, I know for my team, a big issue for us during World War II is how we were communicating through gunfights. So whether it was, yo, bait for me here, I got your right, I got your left, I got your whatever it is, you know, I'm watching your right, so you're watching left, whatever it is, that was kind of a big issue for us. That was something that we had to go into each game and be really proactive to, is our communication in those gunfights, which is hard to do because of the chaos in hardpoint. Sometimes it can be tough. So regardless, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have more questions, drop them down below, fire them away at me in the Discord or wherever it may be. I'm always willing to answer and help you guys. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. Share the video if you guys really enjoy it. Share with your teammates, share with your squad, share with your organizations, whoever it is. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.